Hello, everybody. Welcome to twitch.tv/the Onyx Path, where tonight we have gathered to play The World Below. I apologize for the late start. We were getting some gremlins slain and making sure everything was where it was supposed to be and whatnot. And I have a lot of information I wanted to share with you tonight, so I wanted to make sure I had all that together. In case you missed the memo, there is a bundle of holding out for Dark Eras. It's got, as of right now, 2 hours and 45 minutes left. So before this stream is over, the bundle will end. But the proceeds, 10% of the proceeds from this bundle, go to the Diana Jones Award Foundation for their scholarship for emerging designers. So it's a great cause, and it's a chance to get a whole bunch of Dark Eras books for a very, very affordable price. So go check that out. You have the duration of this stream pretty much to get it, and then the bundle goes away.
They are huge. They're the biggest books on my shelf.
They are pretty thick books, and you get them for a very, very, very low price. Next up, we have a double feature announcement, effectively. This last Wednesday, yesterday, They Came From Classified came out in POD and PDF over at Drive-Thru RPG. In case you're unfamiliar, They Came From Classified is an entry in the They Came From line. So it's cinematic based role playing, but Classified is focused mainly on spy films. So anything from the Avengers to Austin Powers to Get Smart to James Bond, all that stuff is covered under Classified. It is a beautiful and wonderful book, and I highly recommend you go pick it up. The week before that, I know you're not supposed to have favorites, but my favorite role-playing game in the entire universe came out, and that was They Came From the Cyclops' Cave. They Came From the Cyclops' Cave is much like Classified, one of the They Came From line, but this one focuses on fantasy films, like everything going back to, the silent, Arabian Nights type stuff, Voyage of Sinbad, all the way through to like Hercules and Xena. And it also works great for your Saturday morning cartoon type of fantasy, which is kind of the vibe of the stream that I run on Fridays bi-weekly on this channel, which will be playing tomorrow. So feel free to come check that out tomorrow at noon Eastern. And then, of course, tonight we'll be playing The World Below. You can pre-order The World Below over on Back Your Kit. This is, of course, the game of subterranean fantasy horror that we are playing tonight, and that this campaign is built on, uses StoryPath Ultra. And if you want to get right into the action in The World Below, there is an Ashcan edition that comes with the basic rules, some ready-made characters, and a short scenario. So it's everything you need to get started in The World Below. So definitely go check that out. So when last all of our characters were together, you had been trying to help a smith move their forge. There were some people in Telver's Hearth that were kind of getting a little greedy and starting to horn in on this woman's business because of a new metal that she seems to have created, a new alloy that's extremely useful. When you found out about the trouble she was having, you helped her make her escape with her forge and her source materials, and sort of began excavating, trying to find a safe place where you could set up and lay low, possibly for a calm period, or at least long enough to figure out where to go next. Unfortunately, the last place that you had stopped, you came across some kind of unpleasant roommates, you might say, in the cave where you landed. You seem to have disturbed a nest of R3, and so you decided it would be good to get the hell out of that cave before more of them showed up. You knew that there were plenty underground beneath where you were at, and you decided that it was best to beat feet out of there at your earliest and easiest convenience. There were basically two ways out of this chamber. Way one would be to drop down into the river that was running through it and start going up or downstream, traveling along the tunnel that the river has carved out. Seems to be shallow enough that you could walk through it, and there seems to be enough headroom that you'll be able to breathe easily. The other would be to return the way you had come, which of course, would mean doubling back and losing some of your distance that you've gained from Telvershearth. Having said that, what approach did the group decide they wanted to take? Do you want to discuss it a little bit, or did you know which way you were going?
Hmm.
Thought we were heading back already. No? Maybe I remember it wrong.
I remember in our like little one shot, our other characters just decided to head back home.
Oh, well then.
We were like, you know what? I'm out. So I'm getting a little. Oh, what did we do? It kind of seemed like we were going to do that, but
Yeah, I wasn't sure
the
if you were
character's
planning.
name was Bunk.
Oh, go
How
ahead.
did I talk when I was him? Jeez.
You said like a fable or
Yeah, you
Got
were.
Right.
Yeah,
It
NPC.
kind of sounded like this.
That's
Yeah.
Right.
A bit.
As
Yeah.
soon as you said Fable, Chicken Chaser, is that you?
You chase chickens.
We chase chickens. Well, if we go back, it's like we lost time. But if we go up the river, the giant centipedes can't swim. It's like that old saying: if you go up a river, the centipedes can't follow you.
How old is that saying?
10 seconds as of right now.
A goblin lifetime. All right.
Athlana says, for what it's worth, I would like to be away from the bugs. So if they don't like water, I suggest that's what we do.
But would we be able to bring all of our stuff?
It
with
is
us?
wide enough that you'll be able to bring the forge and whatnot. And because of the cold forge techniques that Althana uses, she's like, the water won't damage anything.
Well, I'm good with that.
If that's the way,
Oh,
then that's the way.
Yeah. One, and just gonna come up behind everyone after lighting up that huge explosion. There's one thing. Did we ever get Kelzer back?
Everyone has returned at this point.
Everyone has returned at this point. Okay, just wanted to make sure because the last time,
Right.
We were together.
yeah,
Oh, yes. I had completely spaced on that bit. Yeah, basically, like as you're gathering your things to leave, another chaos portal opens and drops. Is it Kelzel out of it? Was that your character's name? It was Kevin that was missing, right?
yeah.
Kevin,
Was missing.
Yeah. What was your character's name again? Forgive
Um,
my terrible memory.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it myself. It's been a minute.
Um,
Yeah, I'm fine with going with that, even if it wasn't his name.
It's I remember it's short, and I know it's a little bit longer, but I just remember like that first part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Yeah, so basically, like as you're gathering stuff up, a chaos portal like dumps them out. And as far as you were concerned, you had been walking along with them, working your way through the tunnel, and went into some sort of a void where you remained, where it was as if you'd been trapped in a pocket of chaos. Feels to you like a few minutes have passed, but based on the environment when you appear and you look around you, it seems to have actually been possibly a day or two.
I was afraid it was going to be like the Jaunt for a second. And just comes out like after like 1,000 years of being in a void.
No,
I remember you.
nothing so terrible.
Thank God. Hey, what does your character look like?
Who? Which?
Kevin's character?
Oh, yeah, it's Kale Zool. Honestly, I'm kind of channeling some Elric energy. You know, elfy ears, ashen skin, white hair, violet eyes. Just I'm going hardcore albino elf here. Very much
More elves.
a lot of elves with a V.
Mhm.
So I got portaled out into chaos for a hot minute.
Yeah,
Okay. That is an elegant way to take me off the board. Okay.
it's also how Cal's character got dropped in your lap, your party's lap. Like you two swapped basically.
Oh, great.
What was your character's name again, Kyle?
Bunga.
Bonga. I knew that.
That's rough.
I
buddy.
didn't. When I opened up the character sheet, I was like, I named my character Bunga? What?
See, this is what happens when you run bi-weekly and then you have to take a week off and you run a one shot in the place and oh goodness.
Well, we didn't do the introductions this
we
session.
didn't. We
so
just
who are
blew
the
right
who are
past
the
them.
character? I mean, we all
Yeah.
know each other, but what were our characters'
Yeah,
names?
please,
just for a
everyone,
quick
your characters'
reference?
names and pronouns, please.
You're gonna have to tell us who goes
Start
first.
us off. Haley. Somebody take charge. I'm
Haley, you first. Haley. Yeah.
I'm playing Stropharia. She's like a cleric, priestess kind of character. She looks like a mushroom, and she's an elf. So that's that.
L my
Pronouns
city.
she, her.
Excellent. Cal, your character's name and pronouns, please.
All right, I'm playing a hobgoblin, but they're very, very large and simple. And their name is Bunga. And it's like he, they.
All right. Rock and roll.
Or to the citizens he terrorizes, maybe it.
That's fair. That could happen. Crow, your character's name and pronouns, please.
Savorite, the Eldritch monster skull wearing elf. And for some reason it's following behind these weird adventurers.
For some reason. And then Kevin, your character's details, please.
Kale Zool, spectral necromancer, and an elf. He, him, across the board, player and character alike.
Excellent. Rock and roll. Sorry about
was-
skipping that. I knew I was missing something. It's been a chaotic night. So after, just so that I'm clear on this, you've all settled on the river, correct?
Right.
Mhm.
In an attempt to avoid dealing with the bugs. In that case, let's do a round of your choice of survival or athletics.
Aha, equally crap. Good.
And you can pair those with whichever attribute you think might be the most useful or advantageous to you while navigating through this river. If you're relying on your simple prowess, it could be might or stamina. If you're relying on your knowledge of the environment, it might be intellect. So going in the opposite order, Kevin, what role are you choosing to make?
Can I go with intellect? Sort of work smarter, not harder.
Sure. And what skill? Which of the two skills are you lean on? Athletics or
They're both one
Survival.
die,
Okay.
so the point is moot. All right, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got a 1 hit.
excellent. That is enough to prevent you from falling down and suffering, drowning and drowning-like situations. How
The
about
digital dice do not like me today.
Crow?
I'm using intellect and athletics, strangely enough.
Okay.
Getting that roll in. Internet, don't F me now. 2 10s and 3 other hits. So
Excellent. So that's extreme success. You will be able to not only catch any stragglers that might slip, but you'll also be able to maintain the equipment. If anything should go astray, you'll be right there poised to catch it. Given that, unless the others are passionate about rolling for some other thing they want to like stunt out during this, I will allow you both to skip your roll because of such a wonderful job being done. Yes, Haley?
My character wants to pray to Golthon to give us safe passage through the river.
Sure. Are you simply engaging in prayer, or are you trying to use any of your sorceries to help with that?
I don't think it's a sorcery thing, but I know that religion keeps the environment keeps you safe, so I just thought I would try it.
Sure. As you make your way along the river, you chant a prayer to Golthon, and you feel as though that prayer may have been answered. You travel along for probably 400 or 500 meters, maybe. Minimal light, really kind of probably navigating mostly by the Chaos rock that is pinned to Crow's character. Again, what was the name again? Forgive me. Bad memory.
Savo.
Savo, thank you. The Chaos rock that's pinned to Savo is probably the most source of illumination you have at the moment, unless you're trying to like navigate the river while also carrying burning torches, which seems unnecessarily dangerous.
I think Bunga, while mining or trying to dig, had found a chaos rock.
Yes, I believe so.
Because I have that marked as a short-term thing. Add a chaos rock to your outfit.
Yes, I believe that may have happened.
So he's got like a headband that tied to his.
Yep. So a very gentle glow. But after 400 or 500 meters, you see to your left, the tunnel opens up far beyond the river. There's a shore, and there seems to be a relatively sizable cavern in here, big enough that you cannot see its walls or ceiling based solely on the light that you currently have. Would you like to hop out of the water and kind of explore this area, or do you want to try to keep moving along the river?
How much of a glance can we give it? Just a cursory examination to see if there's something that catches our eye, lest we press forward.
Also, how cold are we?
It's probably pretty chilly. The water is not warm. You're going to need to use something to generate more light if you want to. Like, you can just tell there's a much larger space to the left. You can't. It is completely dark in here right now. In fact, you have the dark status effect is in play. Dark. Let me double check.
Does anyone have being able to see in the dark? Because I ran out of points and I did not choose that one.
St. D&D, elves don't get that stuff for free.
Everyone gets dark vision for free.
So you
To
can
the point of where it's kind of useless.
you can try to, you can still, even though the darkness condition is there, you can still attempt a investigation roll.
You know what?
You just
I take off the stone and I chuck it like a flare.
Okay, into the area.
It could be falling into a cavern. It could be like 4 feet deep, or it could just fall into an abyss forever. I guess we'll find out.
Why don't you give me an athletics and might roll, please?
Ooh, look out. All right. And successes are 8, 9, 10.
Yep, and 10's count as 2.
4. I was expecting more from 9 dice.
Excellent. You kind of turn to face this area of open space. You throw it. It goes pretty high, so you're pretty sure that at least 10 meters up or so, the ceiling is not quite there yet. It goes deep and bounces off of a far wall. When it does, you all hear a slight crumpling noise, like shortly thereafter, almost as if it is in response to this clanking of the chaos rock bouncing off the wall. And of course, you see the chaos rock land, slide backward toward you about 5 meters. It seems to be fairly far away, probably about 30 meters from where you're standing. You may all, if
Crimpling sound?
yeah, like almost like slightly metallic, like something metallic being like bent or crumpled. If you'd like to try to take in your environment a little bit, I would allow you all to make survival or enigmas rolls. These will have a minor complication because of the darkness area effect. None of the chaos rocks are creating enough light to overcome that complication.
Let's see.
Survival and
Normally I would say cunning, but if you have something else that you would want to lean on, I'm happy to hear it.
Can I do resolve?
Sure. Yeah, you're resolute. You're searching rather than just
I
trying to know.
recognize that sound.
Would
sounds like-
would esoterica give like I've read about this kind of thing?
Look at these nerds.
Once you have information, yes, but esoterica is not going to help you notice information.
That's fine. I've still got 6.
What's the
dice to roll.
complication?
It's minor, so it costs one hit to buy off.
Okay, I only got 2.
I got 3.
2 here.
Excellent.
Only got 1.
All right, so with those of you who got 1 hit, you can tell that noise came. So if you were traveling along the path, you've turned to your left and thrown the rock dead ahead.
Okay.
The noise, those of you who got 1 success, the noise is coming from the chamber to your left, toward the direction that you just emerged from, but up on the ledge in the chamber itself. You got 2 hits, you said, Cal?
Yes, I think Kevin and I got 2.
Yes, Haley got 3.
Yep. So with 2 hits, you both can see there is movement over there. You can't quite make out what is moving, but there seems to be 3 distinct, vaguely humanoid shapes rising along the wall over there, where you're hearing this noise from. And Haley, you also notice those shapes moving. You notice, in addition to the shapes themselves moving, you notice that one of them is clearly lifting an axe off the ground. And you notice that there are some pretty precarious stalactites above you.
Precarious. Oh, is that like?
Like could fall in on you fairly easily.
Oh. We need to start moving again, please.
With this kind of success, can I make an esoterica roll to identify what I'm looking at?
Sure. I'll let you do that. You're gonna have a minor complication because you're seeing it poorly.
Well,
but-
this is the best roll I can possibly have with 10 dice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 hits. Excellent.
One of them is a 10. I love it.
As these 3 creatures get their feet and bring their axes up to an angle at which they can wield them, you recognize, based on the jerk of their movements, the crunch of the rusty metal of their shells, and the signature axes that you can see in outline. You recognize these as Rust Knights. Rust Knights are militant servants of the lords and ladies of Rot. They spread corruptions in their master's name, leaving a path of lethargic decay in their steps. They have the ability to corrode gear and force people into deep sleep with their mere presence. And they tend to be slow, but once they've chosen something as a target, they're pretty much tireless in its pursuit.
Cue Terminator Kyle Reese quotes. So I haven't got enough sleep to actually do it. I just know what I would do if I had sleep. So, okay. Are these things alive or undead?
That is a good question. Nobody's quite sure.
Dun 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 dun.
The best knowledge that anyone has about the Rust Knights, nobody has ever seen under their armor and lived to tell about it. The rumors and scholars
Sounds like a challenge.
leading scholars believe that underneath their rusty armor is simply more rust. That it's rust all the way down.
A slightly smaller rusty armor.
Yes.
All the way down.
A Russian doll of rusty armor.
A Russian nesting doll of rusty armor.
Yes.
Son of a gun.
No, they think that they're just piles of rusted metal that has been given life by the lords and ladies of Rot. Though nobody has any way of actually backing this theory up.
Why are Lords and Ladies of Rot even playable? They're obviously why would they get along with anybody else? It's like saying, here's a bunch of Camarilla clans. Oh, and the Jamitsi too. You can't play it if you're playing anything else. What? All right. They're super cool. I just don't know why they're playable. Okay.
For conflict.
Okay.
For conflicting ideas.
I love it.
Well, the next time I'm playing one of those Strix or vampire leech people or whatever, because apparently anything goes. All right, so yeah, I got nothing for this except to they've spotted us?
They seem to have, yeah. They seem to be responding to the chaos rock that was thrown.
Are they going after the rock, or are they going after where it came from?
At the moment, they seem to be moving toward the rock.
Rust Knights, they've noticed the rock. We must keep moving. Now.
Well, just let me go get my rock.
No, the rock is
And I
gone.
leave
back.
The rock is gone.
We'll
We
get
have to
you
move.
another run. Yeah.
I gotta get the rock.
No,
All
you
right.
don't.
Are you all going to try
Wherever
to?
you are,
Are you all going to try to physically restrain?
Oh, they can
The
try.
giant hob. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
The 800-pound
Let's get everybody to
9-foot
roll.
hobgoblin. Let's do it.
Let's get everybody to roll might and athletics.
It's gonna be like
my elf weighs 95 pounds with gear soaking wet. Okay,
That doesn't mean you might not be able to hold them back.
you're a funny guy, Travis, and I love you.
Salvo's just gonna stand back and just be like, "Oh, this is going to be a shit show," but probably a funny one before we die.
I like Savos's take on things.
Got one.
It's rare for elves who live so long.
All right, you got one hit from Haley again. Your character's name?
Stropharia.
Stropharia got one hit, grabbing to hold you back. And how about from Kelzul?
Yeah, let me roll all 3 dice.
I'll tell her.
If I roll a lot of ones, is that extra bad?
Only if you don't roll any hits.
I didn't.
Excellent.
You just make me stronger.
So here is what happens. Stropharia is kind of like holding on.
His
to
arms rip off while trying to hold me.
Yes, exactly.
I
Stropharia is kind of like holding onto one of your arms, and you sort of pull away easily. However, Kelzul grabs you around the waist and rides up onto the ledge, like like dangling off your waist. And then just as you step forward, sort of slowly slides down your legs, laying prone as you walk out.
Curls into a ball, waits for death. Yeah.
Hold on tight, spider monkey.
As soon as you're free of everyone and have stepped up onto the ledge, the Rust Knights turn and start ambling in your direction. As they do, you hear not only the crunching metal sound of their movements, but also a sort of tinkling sound of some of the stalactite tips, banging into other ones. Like they're like the movement in this place is rattling those loose stalactites up top. So, that being said,
For some reason, in a Russian accent, I just heard in my head, perhaps not so tight up there.
exactly that.
None of us use a Russian accent for our characters. Where did this guy come from?
I do, kind of. I used an Eastern European dialect on this one. The one time I'm not playing a vampire, I'm using like Dracula accent.
I'll do a shout out to it later, but I'm in a Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages game.
You mentioned that. My envy runs deep, bro.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it is. It's tainting me. My inner thoughts are starting to be the other players who use Eastern European accents.
Nice. Yes.
There is one thing. He's just gonna go. This is gonna go bad. We could let them have the big one as like a sacrifice and move forward. No, the mushroom one would probably hate that.
There's a pretty good chance, that the mushroom one would dislike
Also, someone's like stuck in my belt. There's like a little like elf who tried to hold on to me who botched. Who's like stuck in my waistband being like, no.
Right. Oh, right. Also, they said we were friends. Oh, fuck. Okay.
Oh,
okay.
in my head, I imagined my character as Minsk. That's why I not worry.
That makes sense.
My small friends, I will crush Dust Knights.
So just so that we're clear on this, Stoperia was shaken loose basically when you stepped out. Kelzul did not shake loose and slid down your body and is now laying prone on their face, basically.
Like a toddler who
planking.
decides to put their arms up, and you can't.
Right, exactly.
Oh.
And in my head, at least, this happened very slowly over the course of like 4 steps.
Yeah, like he's out of the river, but he just
A tragic plotting shit show.
I'm going to prepare a patient shot just in case.
That's not a bad idea. First, though, you should all roll initiative.
That's what I figured.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
What's the initiative again?
Initiative is the higher of your athletics plus cunning or your empathy plus dexterity. Also, because you botched that roll, that will add 2 momentum to the pool. So you are now at a momentum of 6.
I am fucking us over on the way to victory is what I'm doing. All right.
like systems where you failed. you fail on your way up the ladder of success.
Fail forward, yeah.
It's the only way I win Snakes and Ladders.
I'm certain I'm going to misspell all your characters' names, but it's Stropharia, right? You got a 5? Excellent. So forgive the murder of your character's name in the chat.
Great name, though.
And
It's a type of purple mushroom.
Can we all type our characters' names in the chat for each
oh,
other?
that would be just beautiful if you could do that. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
Fine.
In the Zoom chat would be very helpful.
There we go.
Oh, hey, look at that.
I as well got 5. That 1 dot in empathy. Came in handy.
Excellent.
One. I only got one success out of that whole thing.
Well, that's okay.
In the
So
one shot, we all rolled like notoriously terribly on the initiatives.
it was a sight.
I died in real life before I got to see it.
Did you go back and watch what happened to your character?
I didn't. Dude, I just laid covered in cortisone all night, man.
I'll send
I
you
haven't
the
seen it.
I'll send you the clip. I made a
Please.
clip of it. I was like, oh, I got to get rid of Kevin's character. Here's how we're gonna do that. And
Am I one of the Rust Knights?
no. In fact, if somebody
There's some meat on the ground somewhere.
if somebody turns on a light in here, they're gonna find exactly what happened to you.
I built that guy to die. Are you kidding me? I was ready.
So we've got Stropharia and Bunga both at 5.
That's right.
Excellent. You certainly have the initiative. Does either one of you prefer to go first? Does it matter to you? Do you want to?
Do you have an idea of what you're doing?
I could buff you. I can't
Oh.
stop you, then I'll protect you.
Excellent.
And one more initiative to roll. Because remember, M is with you as well. And M goes on 0.
Hooray.
So that's
Kitty, did you just knock over a bunch of stuff? Probably.
Whoa.
Oh. Oh no.
I'll make that roll now. That's 4.
So what was it you're attempting to do?
Words of judgment on Bunga.
All
And
right.
I'll tell him, if I can't stop you, then I'll protect you.
So using word of judgment, it's a you have a minor complication because of where you're at, so that eats one of your successes to prevent a chaotic interdiction or a chaotic backlash. Do you want to pay that one to prevent the chaos from retaliating?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I have enough, right?
So that leaves you with 3 hits still.
Yeah.
You declare a target within close range, so you're close enough you can tag Bunga for sure. And the Bunga gains the branded status effect, and while branded in this fashion, I'm assuming you're declaring him blessed.
Bless. Yeah.
You gain +1 enhancement to your defense actions.
Mhm.
So anytime you take a defense for Bunga, you have +1 enhancement. You can spend additional hits, so you have 2 left that you can spend at a cost of 1 hit per target to brand others. You can also spend 2 hits to increase the size or the range by a range band. So if you wanted to, you basically would have 2 options with the hits you have left. Well, you'd really only have 1 option with the hits you have left, which would be to bless the other 2 or yourself.
I'll bless Kale. Is that his name?
Azul. Yeah.
Azul. I'll bless him and then myself.
Okay, excellent.
I'll actually take a shelter. Try to, with the forge. Try to hide behind it a bit.
Excellent. As do the smith and her nieces.
I'll kind of stay with them and like kind of try to stand in front of them.
All right. Excellent. Now you all feel this holy energy wash over you as you receive the blessings of Gulfan. Bunga,
Blessed by great mushroom.
what would you like to do, Bunga?
All right. So my character doesn't know they're Rust Knights.
I've alerted
Unless you-
everybody. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You kind of were like, this is what I know about
We
rust
must be
nights.
quiet. They are rust nights.
That's right. Yeah.
They do not sleep. They do not rest. They do not lose.
I suppose it's time for me to enter the scholarly world and find out what's inside them. And I rip a stalagmite from the ground
All right.
and spin around and like hammer toss it as high into the air as I can, trying to knock stalactites down.
Awesome. I love it. I'm a fan of it. I think this is going to be a great plan, and I'm happy to be able to witness it.
Travis, you never mean that.
So
Wait a second. He's being sarcastic?
what I would like you to do is go ahead and roll your might, your athletics might.
All right.
You are going to have a complication. Let's see. Forgive me, I'm looking through a very, 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 very long list. You have a
Oh, that's a
moderate complication.
All right, I got.
So the moderate matters cost 2. Excellent. So you can basically what I would allow you to do is you would use your 2 of those hits to buy off the moderate complication.
All right.
And the other 4 to target. So do you want to target all of this on one rust night? Do you want to? How would you like to divide your hits? I guess.
How many rust nights are there?
There seem to be 3, and they all seem to be moving toward you now.
2 of them.
All right, so 2 hits towards each.
Yeah.
Excellent. The 2 rust nights that you hit each do suffer 1 injury. As
really
you
up-
see
Like
the
one death. Yes.
as you see some flakes of rust kind of fall off of them, but this doesn't seem to have bothered them too much.
Another pretty pickle you've gotten us into.
Next up, that brings us around to Savo. What would Savo like to do?
Yes, he's just gonna crawl down, kind of use Calzul, since he's down on the ground, just kind of use him as like a stabling apparatus.
All right.
Got
Oh,
patient.
no.
Oh, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You suffered worse, it seems.
Don't we all?
Yeah. He's gonna fire at the closest one to Bunga. The other one that might decide to take Bunga's head off, and he's just gonna let that rip with patient shot up.
All right. Excellent.
Um,
So patient shot gives you what to it?
gain 1 power advantage to your range combat actions.
Excellent. Okay, so that'll come into play when actually dealing
Damage.
the damage.
I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
So give me that ranged combat,
Yes.
and I'm assuming dexterity.
Yes. 4 successes.
Excellent. With 4 hits, you absolutely are able to kind of pop one in their chest. Were you aiming specifically for any of the ones that had already had stalactites dropped on them, or were you aiming for the one that had not yet been injured?
One that's been injured.
Okay. So you're able, because of the power advantage, you're able to deal them 2 damage.
With my great big bonus that I got with those 5 hits on identifying them, could I have given a tactical advantage of some kind to anybody? Like,
Not really. There's not really like an exploitable weakness that you could call out.
Gotcha.
Can't talk.
You
Yeah.
give someone an advantage by being prone.
Yay! Did anyone bring some CLR? Because that would really like solve this problem.
After
Solve it.
after dealing 2 injuries to that rust knight and basically burying the bolt in its chest, you have 2 hits left. Would you like to do anything? You could, try to impose a minor complication on them, perchance.
Yeah, minor complication on it.
Okay. Excellent. So, will that be to attack or defense that you'd like to impose that?
You know what? Might want to do an attack. I'm gonna do an attack.
All right.
Just
so
in case.
you kind of, the way you've hit it and the way that the bolt is stuck in them, they're having a slightly hard time swinging their axe. So they'll have a minor complication on any attempt to
Awesome.
do so. And that will bring us around to Kilzul. What do you got?
I have been trying to find access to my my copy of the Ashcan. I was supposed to put qualities on my blade poppet, but I seem to recall there was something that like f's around with chaos.
Yeah, I mean, you could have. You looking for your weapon tags?
Yeah.
Sure. You have. If you're looking at chaos related specifically, there are chaos touched, which allows the damage of the weapon to bypass armor that isn't chaos forged.
What would mess with something that is chaos forged? Anything like that, or is that too perfect?
Not really, yeah.
Okay.
A piercing weapon would go through non-magical armor, but does not affect chaos forged armor.
For the moment, I'll just skip the tags. I will use sorcery for craft animated minion to animate my blade poppet.
Okay. Excellent.
So yeah, so and this little stuffed critter of like burlap and stuffing and little scythe arms that pop out hops up and prepares to run towards stuff and f it up.
All right, so that'll be, and this is craft animated minion, you said?
Yes,
All right, so give me Enigma's intellect roll, please.
I'm okay at that. Let's say Enigma's intellect.
Yep.
I like it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Ooh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. Da.
Excellent.
3 10s. Heckin' yes.
This allows you to do a couple things. You may spend. So 1 hit raises the minion. This is a basic. So you're, because of the chaos level, you're at a minor complication. So that would eat 1 hit if you want to avoid a chaotic retaliation. So that leaves you with 5 still. So things you can do: you can raise additional minions at a cost of 2 hits per minion, provided there are sufficient targets within range. You may additionally spend 2 hits to forge an unspoken bond with the creatures created via the sorcery. If you do, the minion gains the branded status effect, and while it remains branded, it follows unspoken commands and acts on its own initiative in the fashion you dictate. So with 5 left, you could actually raise another item and forge that bond with both items.
Jeez. Okay. Does anybody have a spare weapon they're not using?
pots and pans jingle on Bunga's
doesn't go ahead.
utility belt.
Yeah, I mean, you could animate any object that's on the utility belt. You could,
Make a spatula summon. Come on.
if anybody else wants to hand over a weapon, they can certainly do so.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it's kind of implied to animate like gives a flying quality to something if it doesn't have its own means of locomotion.
Oh, Salvo's just gonna spit out a knife, just like out of the little skull helmet, just poof, and just splatter it out.
All right.
Fling that shit too.
So you
All right, cool.
have 2 animated items. And this was at the 2 dot version, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. So what you wind up with, I'm going to throw this in the chat. I will need you to control them as well.
Well, they'll act on their own initiative, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Ooh.
So you will roll that, and they'll jump in on that slot the next turn.
Cool. Knife and Poppet have entered the game. Sounds like a short story.
Children's story, even.
Some children. My daughter would appreciate that.
All right. That completes your turn. Go ahead and roll initiative for your newfound friends that have their stats in the chat there. And that will bring us around to the rest knights. 2 of them are going to make their way toward Bunga, who is clearly the largest target. The third one, the one that you shot in the chest, is going to turn their attention toward you, Savo. So they're walking toward you. They're going to take this entire turn to get over toward you. However, Bunga is not so fortunate that it takes that long for them to move. So, one second. Now, again, you have 1 enhancement on your defensive rolls. So that's handy.
Excuse me.
Your starting defense against an incoming attack is always 1. When you are attacked, you may take a defensive action using stamina, just straight stamina. And each hit you garner can be used to purchase a defense trick. After you set your defense, the attacker rolls for their attack action. So, once you are attacked in a round, defense tricks you purchase persist until the end of the round. And you have already acted this round, so you can't take a full defense, correct?
Right.
So, yeah, go ahead and roll your stamina.
All right. So I have Carapace, which is +3 defense.
Oh, rock and roll.
Oh,
and you have 1 enhancement on your roll. Yep.
And I've got an armor that gives me +1 defense. So
does the armor give you +1 defense, or does the armor have an armor of 1?
It has an armor of 1.
Armor does not add to defense. Armor eats wounds.
Right, because it can break and right. Yeah. Okay, so I'm rolling stamina, and the defense I don't roll. I just add that.
Right.
After.
Right. So you get the +1 enhancement to this roll. So if you get any hits, it counts as 1 more hit, and you add that to that base defense of 4 that you have apparently because you're Carapace.
All right. So it's just straight stamina?
Yes.
Here we go. All right. And it's, if 7s were successes, let me tell you, 3 successes.
For real, bro.
Excellent. So that brings your so that's 4 plus 4. So you have a defensive 8 for this round. You are a tank. Um, as the Rust Knight steps close enough that you can see it in the light, you see how horrific this beast is. How it effectively exists in what a modern earthling might consider an uncanny valley. Like, it's humanoid, but not quite. It moves like a living thing, but not quite. And and the two of them are both going to swipe at you with their various axes.
The audacity.
So, excellent. Just checking what I need. That is, well, yes.
Oh, no. Just about to make a joke. Never mind.
The first one only got 4 hits, so they swing, and fortunately, you are missed. The second one swings wildly and also misses. 2 of them have swiped at you, 2 of them have failed. The third one that is moving in your area gives enough, you get close enough that this sort of haze almost that's like rust dust almost that's emerging from their bodies as they move is close enough to affect both Savo and Bunga.
Oh.
You will both, while the Rust Knights are alive and near you, incur a minor complication on all actions. Failure to buy off that complication results in 1 damage or a fitting status effect.
Ah, okay.
So now we come to M. M is going to activate Aegis.
Ooh.
And that is Esoterica Resolve for M. And because she is a chaosist, she gets an enhancement of 1 thanks to the chaos level, which is fortunate because she only got 2 hits. So she will gain 2 dots of armor for the duration. Let's bring that around to your knife. We'll say that your knife at 0 has the first actual attack. So, by all means, what would your knife like to do?
Stab Rust Knights.
Is there one in particular that it is aiming for?
Whoever's closest to doing harm, you know, the standard response in RPGs.
So, I guess because you have full control over them, so do you feel that the 2 that are ganging up on Bunga are a greater threat, or do you feel that the one that's making its way towards the rest of the group is the greater threat?
Oh, geez. They're about the same distance.
Yeah, you could get to either one and attack.
The one's heading towards my squishy elven friends, and the other 2 are near me.
You know what? You got yourself in this situation. I think you can see it through. I'll get the other one. See if we can keep this focused in one place. So combat pool, primary pool 6.
Correct.
3, 4, 5, 6.
And remember, you get an enhancement based on your main occupation as well.
Okay. Well, I rolled a pair of 10s, so 4 total.
Excellent. Oh, don't do that. There we go. Sorry. I apologize for any camera shenanigans that I just accidentally kicked off. So what was your total?
4. Pair of 10s.
Excellent. That is enough to overcome the creature's defense. That is enough to deal it an injury. As you hit it, and it drops to the ground, a burst of this rusty gas sort of leaps forth from the creature, filling everything out to short range. So basically, where everybody is. Everyone may add the exhausted status effect,
Oh,
which gives a moderate complication on all actions until you go to sleep. Failure to buy off the complication results in hallucinating, experiencing short-term memory loss, or being affected by another appropriate status effect. So you are all exhausted.
Does this stack?
Yes.
So, like, if we do it again, we're just gonna go unconscious.
Oh, you can only have a status effect once.
Okay.
No, I thought you
But I
meant...
mean, we're affected by the dust and we're exhausted.
Right. So, like, there was another thing that was causing a complication for Bunga, I believe, correct?
Bunga and Savo, yeah.
Yeah. So this minor or this moderate goes on top of your minor. So now everything is complication 3 for you.
oh,
Oh.
That's
And
how
you don't have
that's
to
how
buy
it
off
stacks
all
up.
of them. You can choose what you want to,
Right.
like buy off.
Right.
Or just eat it.
Or just eat it. That is an option. So we come back around to the top of our order. Strafaria, what would you like to do?
I have a crazy idea, and you can tell me if that's not possible.
I love crazy ideas. Let's hear it.
I want to, with my herbs and potion kit, it's multi-use.
Okay.
Try to make like an acid thing. You mentioned CLR, and I'm like, maybe I can do something with this.
I'll
I
let
didn't see
you.
this coming, but I like it.
I will give you an esoteric intellect roll first.
I don't think I have anything.
You don't have anything in esoterica?
No.
Can
Oh.
I offer aid somehow?
If Stropharia is announcing her intent, you certainly know enough to tell her the valid information without rolling. So I guess is Stropharia saying, I'm building an acid, or are you just doing
No,
nothing?
I'm not going to alert anybody. But I got 3 successes.
On your intellect esoterica roll?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, you know that rust knights are immune to acid.
Oh no. So what
Of
can
course
I?
they are.
If you
What
can
would,
make
Probably poison too.
if you can make something that creates a flame or creates
But not disease, surprisingly.
or creates a a flash freeze,
Quick, cough on them.
something explosive, all those would be fine.
Let's try freezing.
Okay, excellent. Go ahead and give me. Is there an enhancement listed next to your kit?
No, but if it's a medical roll, I get 4 enhancement.
I would say this is
That's
probably
why
going to
they
fall
call
under.
you Dr. Freeze.
I would say this is probably going to fall under science, unfortunately.
That's the opposite of
Ah.
healing.
Oh, wait.
I don't have any science.
All right, give me a straight up.
They're a person of Galthon. They don't believe in science.
Give me a straight up intellect roll then.
Oh. I'm not that smart. We'll try.
It's worth a shot though.
Oh, a 1.
Yeah, one hit.
Yeah.
All right.
This is gonna go better.
So you put together something that you think will do something, but you're not sure, and you won't be able to do anything about it until next turn. Oh, actually, no. I apologize because the exhausted effect is affecting everyone. So you can put it together because you're not going to be able to resolve the complication anyway. So yes, you have it together, but since you are exhausted and you have failed to resolve that,
Should I have done something to cure our exhaustion, maybe? Would that be a medicine roll?
the only way you would be able to remove the status effect would be through chaos, basically.
Oh, okay.
Chaos
Well,
coffee.
Yeah.
can I just not do that and do men flesh?
Do men flesh instead?
Yeah. Try to.
Is anybody actually injured?
But it might heal all damage. Well, it's injury level.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's not great either. So ultimately, you wind up putting together this poultice that you're pretty sure if you throw it, they're going to get cold. However, you also see each of the Rust Knights split in two and begin circling around, marching toward your friends. The rest of you do not see this.
Wait, what? Split in 2?
Yeah, you see them split in two and become. You're seeing double.
Oh, maybe I'm just tripping.
You are tripping. As a matter of fact, yes, that is the result of you not resolving the exhaustion.
They're like
As a mushroom.
slimes.
And as a
It's the
mushroom
mushrooms.
person, that really means something.
Right. That brings us around to Bunga. What would you like to do, Bunga?
All right. So there's 2. You know what? I'm going to grab the axe out of one's hand
Okay.
and use it to axe his buddy that's right next to him.
All right. So, in order to disarm them, you will need to make a close combat and probably might or dexterity. I would say probably might.
It's my time to do a 10 dice pool. We all have our different strengths.
And this will go ahead and roll, see what you get. Don't forget you have the 3 complication at this point.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got 6 successes.
All right. So you grab a hold of the axe. You yank the axe free from its hand. Are you going to resolve the various complications that you're under?
So the dust would do damage to us.
Yes. So the dust is an injury condition if you don't resolve it. The exhaustion is hallucinations if you don't resolve it.
And I noticed that there under injuries, there's 2 boxes beside each level. Is that a box or 2 boxes I would take?
You take 1 box.
And that was moderate.
That one's the minor.
Oh, the exhausted is moderate.
Yep. So you're looking at a total of 3.
Okay, let's resolve the exhausted. Shake off the exhaustion.
All right. So you're going to take the hit of damage to get your hand on that axe.
Yeah, it's
All right.
spiky, but it's worth it.
All right. You will need to eat one of your successes to be able to swing it. And then you have the option of striking the other rest knight or striking the one who you drew the weapon from.
Striking the other.
Excellent. As you hit the other rust knight, you inflict an aggravated wound condition on that rust knight. And were you taking it from the one that was already injured or the one that had not been injured at all?
Taking it from the one that. How would I picture this? The one that, well, both of them were injured because of the stalagmite collapsing, right?
Yes. Well, right. The one that had gone up and has now been destroyed was one of the two that got injured by the stalactite collapse.
Oh, that's destroyed.
Yep, that one's laying on the ground, rotten.
Oh, okay. Then the one that hasn't been hurt.
Okay, excellent.
Give me that.
Just want to check something out.
His axe
here.
will be more pristine.
Excellent. If you hit them, and this creates an aggravated wound, it doesn't actually cause any loss of health or armor. What an aggravated wound does in the world below is the character has a grievous wound that puts her on death's door. If the character fails an action while under the effect of this status effect, she immediately drops to near death no matter how many injury levels she has left. Antagonists with this status effect drop to 1 remaining health level instead.
Oh. All right.
So,
So don't get hit by the axes.
yes. But you have definitely caused that one to have an aggravated wound. All right. And you now hold one of the axes. I will paste the full text of the axe. Actually, you had a leftover hit, so if you wanted to deal actual damage with it.
Yeah.
Oh, nope, I lied. I'm full of crap. The only way you would deal actual damage with it is a condition that it cannot be affected by.
Ah,
All right.
And the fact that it is a heavy weapon is canceled out by the armor of the Rust Knights. So yeah.
So what can I do with that extra
You could trip them.
hits? Can I hit the other guy too?
With one, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hit him and knock him over.
Okay, so you trip him to the ground. I am pasting the text of the Rust Knight Axe in the chat for you. You now have that in your hand.
ooh.
Nice.
And I would remind you all, there's also one on the ground next to the one that's dying near Savo. And that brings us around to Savo. What would you like to do?
As Poppets go.
It is Poppets go. Yep. What would you like the Poppet to do? And that one's under Kelzul's control.
All right.
You got your main puppet.
Yes. Yes. And we roll the same as with the knife.
Yes. They're going to run up on the Rust Knight that is on the ground and still alive, or the one that is standing.
Whichever one's going after our charges. So
The one that's standing is probably the greatest threat to anyone in your party at this point.
there you go. Okay, that's 3 hits.
Excellent. It swings, it tags, and it deals a hit. The Rust Knight loses another piece of armor. And it is going to react using Sundering Impulse.
Oh,
I'm seeing a little Final Fantasy lineup. Sundering Impulse. Oh crap!
What Sundering Impulse does is it releases a disruptive manifestation of power that breaks their opponent's equipment, like a destructive burst of freezing cold or a vicious curse. In this case, what is the poppet made of?
Just burlap stuffing and sharp bits.
The sharp bits, are those metallic sharp bits or are those another type of sharp bit?
They are metal.
Excellent. You see the sharp bits start to rust and crumble
Yeah, I figured
as
this would happen.
they activate this antithesis, gaining 2 hits. So that is 1 hit worth of damage to that animated creature. Does that drop the animated creature?
I do not know. It has health 1.
Yep, and armor 0. So yeah, the poppet drops
All right.
and is no longer animated.
I still have a knife flying around.
That is true. And that will bring us around to Saba. What would you like to do?
We could die. This feels like a we could die situation, right? Right?
It
I
does.
kind of feel like we're on top of this, to be honest.
You're not on top of anything.
You're on top of me.
Well, that's a different. That's different. Well, then that means we're not on top of. And he's just gonna roll over.
How are you doing, by the way?
And with that note, the actual mouthpiece opens up and he releases Eldritch Missile at
Oh.
the standing enemy.
Excellent.
So your character's just like a Cubone monstrosity.
That's what I said.
Possibly. You don't know. You don't know what's under that thing.
And are you alchemist or are you chaosist?
I think I'm alchemist. Yeah, alchemist.
All right. Give me a ranged combat plus dexterity because this is a supplemental wisdom.
Yep.
So here's where the stack of complications is going to start posing a problem for you, because you're currently under 3 complication due to the various status effects going on around you right now. Plus, you will also need to overcome the minor complication of the chaos level to avoid a chaotic retaliation. So go ahead and give me that ranged combat dexterity. Let's see how it lands.
Oh, I generated momentum and didn't realize until I.
It's a 6.
Oh, you got 6 hits?
Yeah.
Nice. What was your momentum generated for, by the way?
It says incur negative status effect.
Oh, so now you have 7 momentum in the pool. All right, so 6.
And steal something from a villain.
So you have 8 momentum in the pool now. Beautiful. So with 6 hits, that is enough to buy off the first status effect, the second status effect, the chaotic retaliation, and that leaves you with 2 hits left.
That's fine because I'm hitting that guy standing on top.
All right.
Can you use momentum to hit him harder?
Using momentum will not increase the damage. Let me check and see if there is anything you can do to make it fancy.
Let me check myself. I don't think they can be overstimulated.
Um,
Unless.
It's not
Plus.
possible. You could add enhancement to hit an enhancement to an action on one form basis, which may be spent after the dice have been rolled and only if the dice have at least one hit. So you can buy enhancement with momentum. You can also spend 2 momentum to change a failure into a success or a success with consequence if a complication is present. You can spend momentum to describe a story element in the scene that is now a fact, as long as it does not contradict what is already going on and it is subject to story guide approval. And you may spend a momentum to gain a piece of evidence about an investigation. Do you wish to spend any of the 8 momentum that are in the pool right now?
I'm gonna ask the party. Do you mind if I spend one?
It's there for spending, buddy.
Okay.
Because right now you're at 2, so if you wanted to actually be able to knock out a critical, because that does not grant you power advantage, correct?
I don't think so.
It would cost 3 hits, so you'd want to spend 2 of the momentum to get it up to a critical.
You know what? I'm gonna do that because this seems like the longer we're messing with this thing, the longer it's gonna fuck us up. So yeah, let me do that.
Excellent. And that's the one that is standing that is next to Bunga, correct?
Right.
Beautiful. All right. So you hit it, and it suffers tremendously. 2. And that is enough to drop it. However, in response,
Oh.
it is going to
Explode.
no, I'm just checking. It is also going to attempt to use Sundering Impulse.
Wow.
A burst as you hit it, and it falls to the ground. Various shards of rust shoot forth from it. It is going to attempt to sunder your armor, your mask, basically. Don't know that it's going to do that great on it.
No, not his mask.
You can go ahead and roll stamina to add to your defense if you'd like.
Okay.
You get an enhancement.
Right, because you're blessed. Or no, you didn't bless.
You didn't
Summer.
bless me.
Oh, right. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
So just straight stamina, please. No enhancement. And don't forget, you have to overcome the 3 complication.
Uh, 2 successes.
You want to spend some of the momentum for enhancement?
I'll just use the 2 to buy the complication. That mask is going.
All right. So you're just going to use 1. You're 1 shy of getting rid of the complication. If you use 2, the mask will be okay.
Oh, wait, but there was another. I thought there was another complication on top of that.
There's 3. You're dealing with 3 complication right now.
Right.
Because the 4th one was from the chaos, but chaos isn't involved in your defense roll.
Okay.
So 2 momentum will save the mask.
Save the mask.
No, we need the momentum because I feel like some more stuff is gonna happen. So, the mask is gonna have to go. I just have to sacrifice the mask.
All right. So are you going to?
Oh, there's
are you
going to be
gonna-
a slightly smaller mask underneath.
So are you spending any momentum then, or are you going to take an injury, or are you going to instead hallucinate?
Up you.
You spend 1 momentum to avoid any of the negative consequences.
I really don't mind you spending more momentum.
I'm just gonna spend 1 just so I don't hallucinate. That's
All right.
So yeah, the mask can go, but like, yeah, just not to suffer the horrible complications.
Beautiful. You now have 5 momentum in the pool. It is now Kelzul's turn. There is 1 Rust Knight left up who is, in fact, suffering an aggravated wound. They do still have armor, so you'd have to get through that armor to take full advantage of that aggravated wound. But if you have an attack that would be able to bypass or ignore that armor, then you're good to go.
Well, the knife is the one doing all the attacking. I'm actually pretty shit in a fight. So it's just not what I'm built for.
That's fair.
However, that's Savo's mask has been like shattered.
Yes, yeah. Into dozens and dozens of tiny little pieces.
Now, if I recall, it's important nobody see his face. It's kind of a Mandalorian thing. Isn't that like a cultural thing about
It's like a
Yeah, because you're Chillville, right?
Epicurean.
Appreciation, yeah, absolutely.
Appreciants.
Appreci-
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah,
it looks
absolutely.
the same when it's written.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Appreciants. So yeah, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say religious, but it's very much cultural.
Cultural,
for that
yeah.
mask. Yeah.
I know it's
So-
not a replacement for the mask. I'm literally going to like pull out one of my empty sacks and like tear 2 eye holes in it and just shove it over his head.
Okay, excellent. That will take your action for the turn and is very kind of you, very thoughtful.
Oh,
He's
Um,
a sack man.
that
Up our bond.
that will bring us to the last Rust Knight, who is going to flail their axe at our good friend Bunga, who has a defensive, what is it, 8 right now?
Until I need to roll it again, or
No, it's it's a new round. So yes, you do need
Yeah.
to do it.
Chant in the chat. Break the axe. Break the
But you
axe.
still have fucking 4 without it. So
Mhm.
Ah, ah, ah.
I only rolled a 2 on my stamina.
with the
So
enhancement
5,
from the
so-
prayer, so that's 3. So that actually becomes a 6 then, right?
Yeah, 3 from the carapace, 1 from the. You're correct. Yeah.
All right. So unfortunately, that's 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. 8?
Spend momentum though.
please. Yeah.
Would you like to spend momentum for enhancement on your defense?
Okay. How many?
You would need to spend. Well, here's the thing: you would need to spend 2 if you just want to up your defense. But again, because you're under the effects of these things, you also have 3 complication you need to resolve.
Wasn't there? Couldn't you like? Nah.
you
You know the setting better than I do. I'm trying to figure it out. Like you could turn a failure into a victory, but not an enemy's victory
Yeah.
into a failure.
Right.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Right. So to overcome all your complication and not get hit, you would need to spend 5 momentum,
I'm sitting over here trying to turn loonies into lira.
which you have in the pool.
I say
That
do
would
it.
drain the pool.
Don't die.
Would he die otherwise? Because I can heal you if all else fails.
Not necessarily, no. Like you could spend 4 momentum and suck the 1 injury that you would take from the Rust Knight's aura.
We'd have a whole 1 momentum.
would be the easiest one. If they hit you with that axe, you're going to take an aggravated wound. So you want to not get hit with the axe. That is
let's
priority
spend
one.
it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all gone. Easy
Have it,
come,
my
easy
guy.
go.
All right. So you're now at a momentum of 0.
Through the sheer power of friendship,
And
I live.
you like back up, and that axe like cuts some of your nose hairs. Like it is close, far closer than you've ever wanted to be to any sort of dangerous thing. That brings us to M. Glitterstone, who often isn't necessarily the wisest in her uses of chaos. So what she is going to do is she's going to tether some wild chaos. She is going to create
Oh,
A major complication to the Rust Knight's next action. She would like to inflict raw damage at the target. So that makes it difficulty 3. She is going to. She doesn't need to add any range because it already works at short. And I think that's all she needs to do. So she's going to make a Esoterica and Cunning. She will get an enhancement of 1 because of the Chaos level. And that is 1, 2, 3. So that is exactly what she needed to pull it off. She blasts out raw chaos out of the end of her hand that slams into the Rust Knight, peeling like the top layer of rust off of its armor. It is very much still up.
Making it stronger.
It is not injured because she didn't get through the armor.
But it's cleaner.
She is, however, oddly enough, it isn't. It's still super rusty.
It's rust all the way down.
Yeah.
We have to restore it to a silverware knight.
Everyone, polish it.
Do Rust Knights talk? What are you doing?
He is going to again use his Sundering Impulse, this time on M, to try to break her shovel.
You know, in most games, a shovel wouldn't be a big deal, but we're underground. Shovels everything.
That is absolutely 3 hits. Let's see what
Like a
M's
canteen
got
and
going defense-wise. Well, I apologize. With his enhancement, that's 5 hits. And M's got a defense of 2. Her shovel snaps. And she screams, "No!" And that brings us to the knife.
Yes.
You call that a knife?
That's annoying.
Call it whatever you want. It's on the way.
All right, so it's going to run over and try to strike the remaining Rust Knight. 4 hits. Nice. You run up and stab it. That is enough to purchase. That is not enough to purchase a critical with its defense. It is enough to trip it if you want to knock it down.
I mean, is this the one that's like on ag?
Does the knife need
Yes,
to buy off any
but you have-
complications?
No, it does not.
Hooray!
Yes, it has an aggravated wound, but you have to get past its armor to deal that aggravated wound. Does your knife doesn't have piercing tag, does it?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
So I mean, it's Savo's knife. I'm just making it fly.
Did you just have like kind of a standard knife, Savo, or was anything funky about it?
it's just a knife. It's
Let me
Cuts
check
things.
and see if I have
Cut things,
just a
yeah.
regular old knife in here. Yeah, I mean, I would say it probably does not have the piercing tag because the piercing tag pierces armor.
Yeah.
Most knives probably do not do that. So
Depends how hard you throw it.
you do reduce the armor by 1 and knock the Rust Knight prone. The Rust Knight has already used its reflexive action for Sundering Impulse once, so it can't use it on the knife. That cycles us back to the top. Straferia, what would you like to do? You have your little ice ball. You can toss it.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna try to pass that to Stavo and say, I fear I'm not in my right mind, but use this on the Rust Knight when you come in rain. It should help.
As you turn to Savo to say this, you see Savo's face split down the middle and grow, like as it splits open, another instance of Savo's face moves to the forefront, and then the other two grow the other half that's missing. So now he has three faces.
Which is
but
scary
because
because
this
you've
is
never seen his face
because
before.
this is all
it's
happening.
Split open, like it split open the sack that we put over
Like
it.
the whole thing splits open and then reforms, but yet all of this, you basically see the flesh undulate, and then the sack now has eye holes on both sides and in the front, and it looks very much like Savo's got three faces.
Does it itch? Like, I have questions.
Well, you can't see it.
The hallucination is not
I'm right
making
there.
you don't right, but you're not hallucinating.
Can I,
I'm
can I roll a
under-
composure roll to let him know that I'm okay? Like,
I mean, you don't need
You're
to
not
roll
okay, though.
composure. You
it's
can
like I'm not gonna like do like a crazy reaction, like try to hit him or something, right?
Unless
no, yeah, you can just be freaked out by it. That's totally acceptable.
that
this is
you-
Savo's true form.
You're
Okay.
you're not okay. You need to roll like bluff or something to convince people you're okay.
I'm okay.
I'm just gonna like, I'm probably acting like, I don't know. I'm all shaky and like my eyes are just totally dilated, but I hand you the thing,
Snozzberries tastes like snozzberries.
and then I
Yeah.
just kind of like do a little prayer and try to use word of judgment.
Okay. What would you like to do with this word of judgment? You could also try to tether wild chaos to remove the status effects that are on you. That is an option. It's not an easy one, but it is an option. I would let you do that with medicine using your
Ooh.
herbs.
Oh, sick. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So
Medicine roll?
we'll
It's
do
time to use my herbs to not hallucinate.
we'll do medicine and intellect. All right.
Mushroom is tripping.
The chaos level will give you an enhancement, but also you will have a complication. So those two will kind of cancel one another out, or you can choose not to resolve the complication. That is always an option.
I have always prepared an expert diagnosis, and that's total 4 enhancement.
Let me see if those will actually affect this. Because first, you're trying to get rid of 2 status effects that are affecting you, correct?
Who? What's the other one?
The other one's
Oh.
the actual. No, I guess yeah, just the one is exhausted. Yeah, you're just trying to get rid of the exhausted, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that would be.
It says when a med roll is right.
That would grant you. We would say it's going to be difficulty 3, and then let me check. You said always prepared.
It's always prepared and expert diagnosis.
So that's +1 enhancement to medicine actions or technology actions, regardless of the equipment in your possession. So that will apply. Expert diagnosis. That's to diagnose illnesses and treat wounds, which neither of which are you doing.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to roll intellect medicine. You have enhancement 2, and you have complication. You have a total of 3 complication.
Ooh. 2 10s.
Excellent. So that's 4 with enhancement 2, so that's 6. That is enough to purchase your complications away and enough to remove the status effect from you. So you hand the ball off to Savo, and then you concentrate and say a prayer to Galthan, and Galthan corrects your vision. It is a good day. You have no chaotic retaliation, and your deity has answered your prayer. That then brings us down to Bungo. What you got?
Oi, my smart friends back there need to ask you a question. What's underneath all that armor?
All right, you're gonna swing down. Go ahead and give me your close combat might roll, please.
That's legitimately one of the best I've heard in a long time.
Thank you. All right. I've only got 4 this time.
Okay. That will still hit. It's painful, but that doesn't matter. It is poisonous. That does not matter. It's deadly. Doesn't matter. Heavy weapon. Doesn't matter. But the +1 power advantage does. So you'll be able to purchase injury twice.
Ooh.
And that will be enough to eat away its last piece of armor and destroy its final health. As you bring this axe down, the Rust Knight splits in two.
And on the inside is
When it does, a massive burst of rusty flakes sort of flies out straight upward, causing the stalactites to start falling in the area. Those of you who are up on the landing itself, the ledge, I need you to go ahead and make a athletics probably and dexterity roll. Though I will accept other means of trying to get the F out of the way.
Is cunning acceptable?
Yeah, absolutely. Remember, you are still exhausted. You're not suffering from the other conditions anymore, but you are still exhausted.
Are we all on the ledge?
No, you never got out of the water, as far as I recall. Neither did Straferia. Yeah. So you and Straferia are still in the water. You're good. M's still in the water. She's good. The Smiths and their gear, all still in the water, all still good. So really, it's just these two that got to make that check. 3 hits.
All right.
Okay.
I rolled 3,
All right.
but is the dust still a minor effect?
Where you're at, yes.
Hmm.
And you have the exhaustion. So you can either buy those off and take the hit, or you can not buy those off and not take the hit from the stalactites.
I will buy those off and take the hit.
Okay. Stalactites drop in. And what about for Kelzul? You're only contending with exhaustion, so you can get out of the way.
I will
Effectively.
roll the exactly 1 foot to my left and get in the water.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have to be there. I'm right by Savo, and if he's
Right,
not
yeah.
in the range, and I am in the range,
and you slid
done.
off of him pretty fast when he got out of the
Yeah.
water. So, you roll into the river. You're fine. The cave-in, the falling stalactites, I should say, a couple of them pierce through your carapace, and you suffer 1 injury. It completely buries the Rust Knight corpse that you opened, preventing you from seeing what was inside. One of the axes, the axe that one was holding, also buried under that pile. You have one of the axes in your hand, and the other axe is on the ground right near the riverbank of the Rust Knight that tried to come into the river. This has ended our combat. And with that being the case, why don't we go ahead and take 5 for biological and technological necessities? How does that sound?
We did it. Hooray.
Hey, congratulations
Whoa,
on
look at
taking
that.
out 3 Rust Knights that, by the way, had already been softened up for you a little bit.
Thank you, whoever you are.
Noble martyrs.
Yeah.
Do we get to keep the axes?
If you want, yeah, they're laying around.
That's
If you
pretty
take the
baller.
time to try to dig out the other one, you could potentially do that and potentially unlock some mysteries about the Rust Knight possibly. But there will be risks to that excavation. However, we will cover those when we return
It
from our break.
belongs in a museum.
I would like to remind y'all we have a bunch of cool stuff going on. We have the Dark Era's Bundle of Holding has 1 hour left in it. I'm going to toss that link in the chat.
So much cool
So
stuff in there.
if you get the chance, while you're waiting for us to return, you can head over there, check that out. There's literally an hour left. It is the last minute, as Stanley Spadowski said so wisely in UHF. We will be back momentarily. If you're watching this in VOD, just fast forward to see our pretty faces again. See you momentarily. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to twitch.tv/The Onyx Path, where we are still playing The World Below. Before we dive in, just want to remind you all you have 47 minutes as of this moment to go back the Dark Ares bundle of holding. I'm throwing the link in the chat again. If you open it in a new window, we won't lose you as a viewer. Go grab you some Dark
Cavemen.
Ares PDFs.
Victorian stuff, Dust Bowl, the stats for a Lamont revolver.
It's wonderful. It is a wonderful collection of books, and it all goes for a great cause. So, at the end of our last, before we went on break, you all had defeated 3 Rust Knights and collapsed part of the loose stalactites above. What would you like to do? The combat is over.
Can I roll? Good gods. Can I roll intellect esoterica to see like if these axes are just going to crumble into rust in 24 hours or some nonsense?
I'll save you the roll. No, they will not. They're absolutely salvageable, usable pieces of equipment.
Okay.
You are likely to encounter 2 responses if you're caught walking around with Rust Knight axes. People are either going to be really impressed with you or really terrified of you.
Those both sound good.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You put a little bag over it, nobody sees it till you want them to see it, and then it's on. Okay, first things first, just jumping in the leadership seat here. We should start healing people.
I'll do it. We get a momentum if I do it. So, just saying.
Nice.
We should make sure that our charge is willing to hang out for a minute. We should make sure there's no further violence incoming because there was just like a micro cave-in. It was all very noisy, and who knows what that'll attract. And if we have the time, we should salvage anything we can.
All right.
I'd love mystery. I'd love magic axes, and I'd like to get the scraps from my poppet.
This is not the first time he's been torn apart.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, speaking of which, are we going to get up out of the water, kind of do a sweep of the area? Are we adding any light sources to the area? Let's walk through it. How are we handling this from the moment when I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, as those stalactites fell, there was kind of a pregnant pause, and then Bunga like tossed a thumbs up out from under a pile of stalactites, right? or like held up the axe. Like...
Not even a thumbs up. It should be the Chaos Stone.
Perfect. So yeah,
Got more stone.
So here's what we're contending with. About half the ceiling still has loose stalactites on it. You still don't have a light source, and there is the area over by where things fell on the Rust Knights is considered ruined. You are wounded, Bunga, but not enough that you can't just crawl out from under the bit that's over you. You are still all exhausted and will remain so until either 3 scenes pass or you sleep.
Did I cure
Except
mine?
for-
You cured yours.
Oh, okay.
Nobody else.
Yeah, Stefaria is she's not exhausted.
I'm good.
Yeah, which means it's easier for you to treat some wounds. So are you going to try to heal Bunga?
Yeah. Can I just how injured is he?
I
2 injuries?
have 2 injuries, yes.
Okay. So then I'm gonna have to use heal wound or mend flesh.
Okay.
And I'll take a roll.
Let's see. Mend flesh, you said?
Yeah. That's a sorcery.
Oh, yes. So medicine composure. You recite a prayer of healing and select a wounded target within close range. So you have to get up close to them. That's fine. Target heals all damage from their most severe injury level. Unlike mundane healing, this may be used on a target more than once in a scene. So go ahead and roll a medicine plus composure. You do get the benefits from your You don't get the benefits from the always prepared, but you do get the other benefit. So you get the +3 enhancement on this one. And you have a minor complication because of the chaos level.
3 successes plus.
All right,
Yeah.
so 5. So 1 to get rid of the thing. That's 4. So you can affect multiple targets at a cost of 2 hits per additional target, or heal the agony or insensate status effect for 1 additional hit each. Now, nobody's suffering agony or insensate. Is anyone else actually injured?
I think I took a wounded, or does it progress down a track like bloodied to wounded to?
It's bloodied, wounded,
Right.
maimed, and then you're dead.
Right. I took 1 injury, so I guess I'm bloodied.
Right, so you could use it on both of them then.
Okay, I'll use. Oh, that's good because then that frees up a short-term goal.
All right, rock and roll. So mark that, make a little X that's been done. You gain a momentum from healing a wound, and everybody is back up to.
Can we gain 2
they're-
momentum because it's
oh.
2 people?
No, it's per instance.
Okay.
All right, so next
Thank you
up,
kindly all the same.
next up in the checking on your charges department, you're all able to easily help them draw their equipment up onto the side of the ledge. M is actually weeping over her broken shovel, but Alflana says, "I'll be able to repair it for you. Fret not." She is pretty much like exhausted and crestfallen over the loss of her shovel, which will make until it is repaired would make excavation a little bit difficult for y'all. So now you said you had wanted to, once they're all in place, you want to check the area to see if it's safe and to see if you can determine any secrets. Before you check the area, are you going to do anything about the darkness area effect?
It should be a little, unless he completely disappeared, it should still be a little bit bright with that Eldritch, not blast.
Oh, your Eldritch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how long
Eldritch
that lasts,
ammo?
but yeah. That gets rid of darkness. I don't know for how long, but
Eldritch missile, right?
Eldritch missile, yeah.
Yeah, it prevents the darkness area effect from occurring within short range. So basically, like from that area where the Rust Knights emerged from, which appears to be what looks to you like a caved-in tunnel, where the Rust Knights seem to have been leaned against. There's also this weird slickness on those stones. But from there out to out to the edge of the water, and then out to the distance where the stalactites were already knocked off, that area is bright. Nope, I lied. That area would have been bright for a turn.
Just turn, okay.
Yep. Because it uses because it flashes when it hits. Basically.
All right.
It's like a flashbang, but magic.
No.
So yeah, that light has now faded. I apologize.
Cool.
We're all learning together. That's the beauty of this game. And I wrote that hour, so I should have known. But I've written a lot of things that I don't remember.
So say we all, brother.
The case, and when he's gonna do crestfallen as he is, because unlike the shovel, that mask can never be made again. So he's gonna try to make some something to get like a good fire going, just to brighten this place up a little bit.
Okay. Just regular old start a fire.
As long as there's ventilation.
I mean, you're not 100% sure.
It'd be an embarrassing way to die after all this.
And would be. Can't do that.
You can always tether wild chaos for a light source if you're absolutely out of ideas.
Ooh, ooh. Perhaps I could lend my expertise. And I try to summon firebugs.
Oh, the
Lunamoths.
the sunflies.
Sunflies. There we go.
Lunamoths are
Elder Scrolls.
And how would you like to summon the sunflies?
All right. Let's see. Oh, not all of them are on the ash can. Oh, okay, okay.
Which you should have. You should have the full manuscript.
I do, yeah.
Which
Swarm's Call.
Swarm's Call. Excellent.
And I also have Bug Talker.
Okay.
So I can summon them, but also effectively communicate rudimentary ideas with them.
Yep. So
it'd be silly to just take one of those.
well, it might be silly to just take one. It's definitely nice to have two. So Swarm's Call. Yeah, you don't even actually have to roll or do anything. You just let out a chitter and sunflies come in from actually the far end of the cavern. So as they fly in, you can see that at the far end of this cavern, there is a path that seems to sort of go up a little bit and then go down. It looks like it was sort of hewn out of the rock haphazardly. There's like some bits where there's still like rock and dirt like falling like a little bit from here and there. Like possibly someone dug it out with axes rather than a shovel. But the sunflies now fill the area, eliminating the darkness effect. So if you'd like to kind of look over and assess the area, what skills would you like to lean on to do so? And I guess since everybody else is kind of doing things throughout this, we'll leave the actual investigation at this point anyway to Savo and Kale. So what is Savo doing amid all this?
Checking for like other enemies, anything coming close. Well, first, you know what? This is why we have this. Gonna use that good old tremor sense to sense any other movement around.
Excellent. You may use culture or technology, your choice. I would say pair that with cunning, unless you have something else that you would like to lean on.
It's fine. It's fine.
And remember, you do have the 2 complication from being exhausted.
Right. 4.
All right, awesome. As near as you can tell, there's nothing immediately in the area.
Okay.
The sunflies were probably the nearest creatures. You get a little bit of sense that there is some like rock falling down that tunnel, but it's because the tunnel is not well excavated.
Right.
And is there something else, Crow?
After he does this, you just see him like still holding on to like a piece of broken mask to sit there and sense tremor, and then it crumbles, and he just goes, "Oh,
Aww. My empathies. You had a thing, Haley, you wanted to say or do? Or?
I wanted to see if I can like help anyone's exhaustion.
Short of channeling chaos to do it, no. If you want to channel chaos to try to get rid of those status effects, you can.
What would the role be?
Probably medicine intellect, and then you'd have a minor complication for the chaos level, and then you would need it would be difficulty 3 per person.
Would I get a 1 enhancement for always prepared?
Yes.
Again? I think I should do it. Try it. Or else it's going to take a long time to heal, right?
Well, you just have to basically you'll need to sleep.
Oh.
Yeah, I know one of the things that was on the agenda was checking the area to see if it's safe to do that.
Okay.
So if you want to wait and see how that turns out first.
Okay.
Okay, rock and roll. So how about then, what would Kilzul like to lean on for investigating the area?
Is this where esoterica comes into it?
Esoterica is a lot more like strangeness knowledge, occult knowledge, bizarre lore, things along those lines. You're
Gotcha.
probably looking at survival. I could see an argument for enigmas. I could see an argument for science.
I'll go with enigmas. And can I use intellect?
Mhm.
Okay,
Absolutely.
that'll be fine. 5, 6, 7. That's a 1, a 2, a 3, 4.
Excellent. Let me just check something here real quick. This is a moderate complication due to the area. So you can take 2 hits worth of information and buy off the complication due to the severe amount of damage that the area has suffered because of the stalactites falling. Or you cannot resolve that and use all 4 hits to gain clues at this point, but then further attempts to use evidence in this area as enhancement would not be possible. And you could possibly find red herrings or other false data if you don't buy it off.
Well, I hate red herrings. What do you think, everybody? Buy it off?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Quality over quantity, then.
You're able to determine the following. This area should be safe for now as long as you stay. If you clear away the debris where the stalactites already fell, you should be able to sleep there relatively safely. Your other option would be to knock down the stalactites in the rest of the area and then sleep in the gaps or clear smaller areas within it. Either way, you're going to end up moving some stones before you can take a nap. Other than that, though, there are no clear and present threats to you. You do find...
We learn about rust nights.
You do find that if you clear out those stones that have fallen on the rust nights, they have already collapsed into basically piles of rust. They seem to have undergone an accelerated deterioration.
But the axes are still good.
But the axes are still good.
Can we find the third axe and the remains of shattered bits of gear and stuff?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That will pretty much eat up that investigation. But so is your plan then to clear away the area where it's already fallen in and then try to rest?
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Yeah.
All right. You do so. You're able to get a peaceful night's sleep. Are you... I'm going to assume that you're able to suss out a watch schedule that will allow everybody to get enough rest to overcome their status.
I'll go first.
Yeah, since you're not exhausted. The sunflies lie down probably an hour, hour and a half after you call them in. And the night is peaceful. The only sounds that you hear are the breathing of your companions and the rushing of the water going past you. When you wake the next morning as the sunflies rise, pretty much the moment that everyone is up and moving, Alphavana has begun working her forge, fixing M's shovel. And her nieces, Gelfim and Aradia, are preparing some food. They have some various mushrooms and a couple of like dried herbs and spices that they're sort of sprinkling on them, trying to create an edible meal that won't require any cooking fire.
I have cavern farmer.
Okay.
Like to forage using that. The last time I did this, I rolled terribly, but this time,
Sure. Go ahead and give me a survival. I would say probably cunning, unless you have a better idea.
cunning makes sense.
And your difficulty on this is going to be 2 because this is not a particularly arable location.
I don't have the that thesis up, but I'll check the raw, the bigger document when I have a chance. Oh, well, that's a 10 and an 8.
Right. So you're able to set up a small net in the river, and you're able to catch enough crabs, basically, crab-like creatures, in that net to feed 2 people.
All right. Since we're being fed by the nice smaller hobs, I'll lend my mystery crab meat to them to dish out.
Sort
how
of
they
mix
see
it
fit.
into the mushrooms.
Yeah, feeds 2 more people, so essentially takes 2 more rations. But then everyone gets everyone gets crab.
Yeah, there you
Raw
go.
crab and mushroom pilaf. Who could ask
Yeah.
for anything more?
You dine, and having dined and rested, you are all you've recovered all your negative status, and all of your wounds are healed.
One thing I'd like to do before we go, though,
Sure.
I'm going to use my once per session trove revealed to reveal a valuable in the location or a valuable location nearby.
Sure.
Ooh.
Commune with the local spirits and watch their ghosts. I've been playing a lot of Conan Exiles, so I'm feeling the vibe.
I should get back into that.
It's pretty fun, and the mods are dope. Like I got to give a salute there.
Oh, I've never played with any mods.
Cosmetic stuff. It's pretty cool.
So you
Anyway.
get the sense that there's actually a fairly strong source of chaos down that tunnel. It's on the other side of the cavern that you're in. The tunnel again like goes up and then
Where
curves
the Rust
down.
Knights came
Where
from?
the Rust Knights came from. There seems to be a fairly potent and conceivably large source of chaos.
I communicate this to the others. Do we wish to investigate, or shall I simply mark it down for later?
Uh-oh, wait a second.
I couldn't
Dogma
bear
well
the
worship.
thought to- Go ahead.
and let's and let someone else find all the goodies for themselves.
We have one mission already.
It's called. It's gonna go Russian. It's called side mission. It's called just a little waylay.
It is not up to us. It is up to them. If they wish
Also-
to make the time, we respect that. If not, we respect that.
But also Salvo kind of grows back in height over top of Bonga. The last time you decide to have a side quest, my mask is in pieces.
We almost lost each other back then. I couldn't bear the thought of it. No more risk taking. We just get what we need to done.
Boo!
Miniature giant space hamster appears.
M says, while I agree with the sentiment, do we plan on going somewhere that's not in that direction?
It's not like we had that direction already set.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, our options are go down that tunnel or hop back in the river and see if there's another cavern full of rust knights waiting for us. But it's y'all's call. Or I can try to dig us out the side here. I mean, try to excavate in another direction if you wanna try that.
Who's our little guide character again?
M?
They disappeared.
Yes.
Yeah. M Glitterstone is the one that's like acting as a guide.
Right. So if M is here, do you have any other, was that a plan of starting over? Did you have a course plotted before this began?
Well, I mean, before we wound up in the last place, yes, but then we moved around a lot. I mean, I can probably tell you. Let's see. Yeah, all I can tell you is that the chaos does get stronger going in that direction. I think the tunnel is a better way to get to it than the river. That tunnel is not necessarily safe, so if we are going to move through it, I would like to shore it up a little bit. It would still be faster than me digging a tunnel going to the side. Now, if I'm not mistaken, if we go back that way, and she points at the place where the tunnel was collapsed, says that direction would take us back to Tulver's Hearth. So by extension, if our goal is still get away from Tulver's Hearth, we keep going that way. Alternatively, we are in a relatively small, relatively well-sealed cavern. If we want to take the time to bring down those stalactites, perhaps fortify that other side, we have a source of water here. Food might be a bit of a problem, but we could try shorter expeditions to forage, and we could try to make this home base for a little bit while we sort of figure out our next step.
I'll look to the client. What do you think?
She says, I just want somewhere safe where we have enough to survive without concern. At least with as little concern as we can manage. And where I'm not going to get robbed. So, I mean, if we can turn this into a survivable spot, I am cool with chilling here and, working to formulate a larger plan. That's fine. But, I mean, ultimately, we're going to need to get to some settlement because Calm can't be that far off.
So it sounds like we're in agreement.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, Straferio's not impressed.
I see. So Bunga has what is it called? Welcome presents, which I have been role playing very well, if I do say so myself. Um. Oh, that's for like first impressions and meeting NPCs mostly. It seems like all of my ideas are the ones we end up going with. So it's almost like you could say
No.
that it's kind of like I'm the leader.
I let my eyes cloud over with the black of plutonic fire and say, "There are a trail of dead men following you. I do not intend to add to them."
And Stropharia will add to that, like, your leadership almost got us killed last time. You're lucky that we were able to protect ourselves against that. Nobody has lived against the Rust Knight, and you put us in that situation.
And now you have.
My exasperation leads me back to the Rust Knight remains. I don't suppose Bone Reader would work on them.
Bone Reader. Let's see.
I can speak with the remains
bet
of
not,
creatures.
because they don't have bones.
I had a feeling, but I didn't know if that was just a classy name or.
When you handle bones, you can recall pertinent information about the corpse.
Oh, okay. So no bones, no read.
You know what? I'll let you do it. Why not? There are remains. I'll let you use it.
That's probably a terrible idea. Okay, enigmas with a minor complication.
Yep. And you can lean on whichever attribute you think is most pertinent.
Okay.
You're acting like us defeating the Rust Knights and being the first in history to live to tell the tale is a bad thing.
As you say this,
It could
like
have been bad, Bunga, and that's what I'm saying.
aloud,
I care about you very deeply, and I'm glad that you're a strong warrior to take those on, but we're lucky this time.
And you were gonna say, Crow?
I was just gonna say it like a loud death whistle, Aztec death whistle noise just erupts from Savo. It just like there's a lot of shaking and like some glowing green behind like the sack. We're not friends anymore. Friendship over. He just walked over to the forge.
As you make that noise, it knocks some of the stalactites down in the far side of the cavern.
Somewhere, Mudahar is screaming.
And so you got 4 hits on your Bone Raider attempt. You get more impression than factoid, but you do get to ask 2 questions about this body. So, what would you like to ask?
Were there more where it along the path it took among its number? I'm specifically trying to hone in on our path.
Were there more of its number?
Yes, or its allies, its forces that it belonged to.
Are you asking if there were more in that direction? Yes.
How are you created?
Through the glory and wisdom of the Vrat.
I knew I'd get a bullshit answer like that. I salute you. It's a good answer. I knew. I just want to like, wow.
Point out in the private chat, Crow wrote, "Where'd you guys get your drip?" And I'm like, that's a pretty good question, to be honest.
I mean, that might have been a more helpful one. No, the same
Do
thing.
I get bonus questions for a good roll, or done and done?
It's done and done. I will say this much though, because you did succeed and you did overcome the complication, all that stuff. You get the impression when you're asking about more that the individual corpse is possibly, one might even say probably, referring to their traveling companions.
Did I get a vague idea of like force composition?
Yeah, like that at one point there were 5. Then there were 4. Then there were none.
So we shouldn't expect more along this path, according to this corpse.
At least as far as it knows, yeah.
Okay, so after like eyes going black and hands over it and handling the rust, if that's not a toxic proposition, I'm gonna. The numbers were depleted. If there are more of them, it was not part of this warband. The path may be safe enough, at least as far as this band goes. I point over at Bunga. Shut up.
With that, then, Alflana says, well, if we can shore that path up as we make our way down it, then perhaps we head that way until we find out what this chaos source is and we go from there.
This is a plan.
All right.
Squifera will reluctantly agree.
Excellent. Are you going to do anything else? Is there anything other business that you wish to attend to in this cave before you break camp and start heading down the tunnel?
One last sweep for valuables, or is there any reason to bother?
If you want to give it a
Use
shot,
your trinket finding. Also, I believe we have 1 momentum. How do we add information to a scene?
spending 1 momentum.
If there's something like, I was going to say cinematically, but kind of like thematically fitting in the story, narratively, there we go, fitting to the story, we could use that momentum, or we could hold on to it for when we inevitably.
I will point out,
Need to use it.
we have 10 minutes left of broadcast, so we're probably going to be wrapping up once decisions are made. So if you want to spend a point of momentum to add something to this cave,
Because the default a session starts with is the number of players.
yep,
So we go back to 4.
yes. So you'll go
So
back
might
to
as well
where-
spend it then. Okay.
Maybe if the necromancer has something you're looking for. Oh, isn't there your old character? Oh,
We lost to Haley.
Haley.
Not a
While
Haley.
they're on their way back, your old character died here, and they have bones.
That is true.
And equipment?
There are other bodies here.
Okay. I'm going to.
Oh, bodies.
I'm going to go with a
Oh yeah,
search
no,
and-
one other body, I guess I should say. And there's that ooze that you haven't fucked with too.
Okay, so I have. God, I almost used the Discord dice bot. I've been playing too much Star Wars.
Forgive us,
So-
broadcast. We are experiencing a brief bit of technical kerfuffle as Haley has fallen away. So I'm going to try to fix this while you're talking.
There we go. I gotta lean this way.
If you could, nice. That actually works for
There we go.
for you, Cal. But yeah, by all means, whatever. Please continue, Kevin. I apologize.
No, not at all. So I forgot to add last time that I have one man's trash, which gives a +2 enhancement to find valuables. So I'm going to.
I love how custom all the characters in this system are.
Yeah.
I know I've said that like 10 times, but like, right? Like the friendly giant like thing I went with.
Yes.
What? The bugs are friends. And like just like the necromancy and the scavenging stuff that Kael'Zel has. It's interesting. I just need to find a way to make friends with Savo.
You'll find a way to make up for it. It'll happen.
All right. So searching, I guess I'll go with enigmas and intellect again, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a cool 7 dice. Can I draw upon spectral patrons to sort of, or is that just thematic to
It's just
guide
kind
me
of
to?
it's kind of thematic.
Okay, this is the best roll I've ever seen. Like I should screen cap it. 10,
Do it
10,
for fun.
10, 10, 10.
What?
Excellent. So
On
that's
how many
so
dice?
And a 4 and an 8.
So that's 11 hits.
That's 11 hits. And this, how did your, it was a
Plus
thesis?
2 enhancement.
So 13
Yep.
and no complications right now.
Yeah, that's pretty.
So I find Excalibur.
It's pretty
You
darn
find
impressive.
Excalibur.
Right.
Well,
And with your extra hits, you find additional Excaliburs you can give to your friends. See,
And
I'm
a
learning how
lance-
the system works, Travis.
and a Lancelot. And a Lancelot to wield them, who
Oh, he,
pledges undying
he just comes
fealty.
out of the ground.
Hi.
A turnip Lancelot. It just
Yes, exactly that. That is exactly what happens. No, it doesn't necessarily make anything
No.
magically appear. However, you do find a bag that has an extra 10 servings worth of rations in it, as well as another corpse buried among the various stuff. Haley has returned. Welcome back, Haley.
Sorry.
No worries. Tech happens.
Yeah.
We'll get you where you gotta be.
Okay.
Squared away in the little squares. For the moment, I am Crow.
Okay.
so we are Crow.
We are Crow. We are Robin Hood.
We are.
We are
Um,
Groot.
We are Legion. We're turning into Rust Knights.
You are turning Rust Knights. That's what you get
We
for
get-
that roll. No.
I rolled 11 plus 2 enhancement. Can we get
Yeah,
Rust Knight powers without becoming Rust Knights?
No.
No. No. go
Based
fuck
on what
yourself
just
for
their
even
axe
suggesting it.
does, based on just what their axe does, I think that might be too powerful.
What you do discover, though, as you're looking through this, you find in that bag, you also find a map.
There's a bag.
Oh,
Yeah,
so what you
I found a
missed
sweet dead people bag.
was he found a sweet dead people bag. He rolled to find, now that we cleared it out, we made like camp for the day. He rolled to clear, to make sure we weren't missing anything, check the bodies that the Rust Knights had made, presumably, in the past. And there was actually another body in here. And if you recall, in the world below, bodies don't last long when they're not being
Observed, right?
observed yet. But he found one, and he rolled 11 successes. And
2
then
enhancements.
he has a thesis that it's called One Man's Trash. That when he's scrounging and looking for like little tidbits of things are here, he gets an enhancement of 2.
So you find this body.
13.
Body might be a generous term. You find you find a torso. You can't seem to, no matter how much you look, even with those 13 heads, you can't find the legs or the head. But you do find the torso. Slung over the torso is a knapsack. In that knapsack, you find 10 days worth of rations for one person. You find a map that looks like it probably deals with this region of the strata. And you find a journal. Inside that journal are several notes regarding a prophesized temple. This temple supposedly is a holy spot for the Vrat. And whoever wrote this journal had been studying this holy spot for seemingly months, if not years. And in the more recent journal entries, they mention meeting up with a group in Telver's Hearth to begin a excavation, and how their plan was to manipulate said group into leading them to the temple. The last bits of the journal entries talk about traveling with this group and tunneling and endlessly tunneling, trying to make their way through the rock and how the rock would not stand between them and their quest to the temple. Piecing together all the information, you think that basically this person died after having led a bunch of people into this chamber. And based on the fact that you even found body parts, let alone the lack of decay in them, this was like a day ago.
Oh my god.
All indications point to the temple being further down that tunnel. Lastly, you also discover that on those rocks that were collapsed by the tunnel that would head back towards Tulver's Hearth, they're covered in like a film. This film can be carefully collected, and you've got enough successes to have done so. And when the film is collected, you're able to put it in a vial or coat a weapon with it, for example. The film itself is the remains of a creature called a miasmal. Miasmals are sort of the natural enemies of Rust Knights. They also serve the Vrat, but they basically hate the Rust Knights, and the feeling is mutual. Now, miasmals are sentient clouds. They're almost impossible to perceive in their natural state, but they are capable of solidifying. When they do solidify, that makes them susceptible to physical harm. You think what had happened was perhaps these Rust Knights and the miasmal got into a scrap, and the miasmal residue was the remains of that scrap. Your best guess, Jesus Christ, you had a lot of hits. Your best guess is that when the miasmal died and there was no other prey present, the Rust Knights just went dormant. That's why they were just kind of sitting there when you got there. The actual residue, you have enough to create 5 doses of fast-acting toxin.
Well, we definitely want to pass that to our resident alchemist herbalist.
Yeah, so if you want to mark down on your sheet, Haley, that you have 5 doses of fast-acting toxin, you can put like miasmal remains.
Ooh. Okay.
Should everybody else take a Rust Knight axe?
Well, there's only 3 of them in total, so.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I mean, everybody that's not you mean? Or what?
Well, Haley, would you want a Rust Knight axe? Because you have all the toxins.
I already have a weapon, so.
Are there any prerequisites? I noticed that it was like
It's a heavy weapon.
unusually heavy.
Yeah, so what heavy weapon does...
I mean, I'm just going to animate one if I get it.
They add +1 power advantage on attack actions with the weapon. It can't be paired with concealable, and it counts as 2 tags when applying it to a weapon. It just means it's really big. It does not prevent you. It prevents you from concealing it. You can't wield like a light weapon with it. But other than that, there's no prerequisites for it.
So I can't dual wield them.
No.
It's a 2-hander.
Yeah.
If you had more hands, it would take
Bunga.
those 2.
Bunga is very strong.
What's
Take out
what's
the
Bunga's
is
what's
very-
Bunga's
Bunga's
might?
strong. Candy
I'll
Grant
have
from
you know
Bunga.
I have 2 dots in culture.
And yet,
Yeah, so if you want to do 1 Rust Knight axe to Bunga, 1 to Kilzul, and 1 to Savo, that's fine. If any of you don't want them,
Be sure to sleep with
the
it at
smith
night
will absolutely take them if you don't want them.
and breathe in the rust that emanates from it.
Salvo.
Can they make it into something else? Do you think?
Probably not. It's probably not reworkable.
Also, can I ask the smith if she can repair the blades on my poppet, preferably with the little like scrap shards of her work?
Yeah, yeah, she'll do that for you. Absolutely. Did you have something you wanted
Awesome.
to ask, Crow?
So yeah, Salvo's just gonna hand the blacksmith lady the rust axe. Like, I can't use this.
She says, "Oh, I can," and like,
Just hands it over.
puts it like in the cart, like handle up, so that she can just grab it and draw it easily. She says, "Thank you. Is there something I can do to repay you? Would you like a mask of my material?"
Yes, the need, and
Of course.
That is
like
that is dope, man.
With the amount of rations we have, we shall not move from this spot until it is forged.
it's more like not even just it's a survival need for me at this point.
Give me
Not
time.
even just cultural.
Will you make it through the next couple of days?
Will any of us make it through the next couple of days? And like his eyes go wide, and in the background there's like a void forming. He's just floating off into space.
Em says, "Don't worry, I got your back. I'll keep you alive till she gets done."
Oh, then sure. I'm just gonna turn to Bungo. You've doomed us all.
Who said that?
Fear not, friend. I
The-
know what happens after death. It's not so bad.
the last
Oh,
bit
just got Spanish.
the last bit of information that you glean.
Vaya con Dios.
So if you've gained a piece of equipment, during tonight's session, please be sure to write it down. The stats for the Rust Knight axes are in the chat.
Everyone's mad at me, and I got us Rust Knight axes.
I know, right? It's unfair.
You got us into a
It's-
fight with Rust Knights. We all got the Rust Knight axes. Let's get the math right here.
You're
the,
welcome.
The last piece of info that
What
you
costs?
have gleaned, by the way, is that something must have been going on down that tunnel to cause the Miasmal and the Rust Knights to lock horns. That might have been a temple. Whether or not the temple's active, you can't say, but there is definitely a chaos source down there. So at the beginning of next session, perhaps you can debate whether you're going to go toward the chaos source that might be a temple of the Vrat, try to dig out a different direction, or start going back the way you came and try to circle back around to another settlement. But we will answer all these questions and more in 2 weeks' time when we return for our next episode of Delve and Dig the World Below. So, any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns before we call it a night?
Thank you, Google
I just-
Dice, for that hella roll.
I just want to say that y'all are on Bunga's case, but you always say that's not a good idea. And then everyone goes, let's ask the NPCs. And the NPCs are like, I mean, we could keep going this boring way where there's nothing. Or we could go the way Bunga wanted to go. Bunga, no. No,
there's
no,
a
I don't have any
gravestone waiting
problems.
for all of us. Yours just seems so much closer.
Mhm.
I don't know. Given Bunga's happy-go-lucky state, it's probably farthest away.
No joke. And Bunga, like, to be fair, Bunga did not do bad in that fight against those Rust Knights.
He did, really. That was like,
Well, made sure to mention that. Like, you did great, but it could have been worse.
if you weren't so
Everything
awesome in a
can always
fight,
be worse.
if you weren't such a
Well, there's-
badass, we'd have been in some real trouble.
Bunga is man of one particular skill.
this is a good group. I like this group.
I'm the best I am at what I do, and what I do is swing one axe very, very well.
Now on, I am Axeman.
All right, so in the interest of keeping things short, sweet, and simple, I'm going to grant you all 8 experience points for the night's
8?
events. Yeah, 'cause,
Hecking yeah. We
'cause
took
you-
down 3 Rust Knights, and then we accomplished a bunch of plot stuff.
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Haley, your question.
I accomplished a short-term goal. Is that 9 experience? Or...
Yes, if you marked down any of your aspirations, you can take the experience for that as well.
1, 2. Remind me what willingly enter the obscura means. That means going into the unknown, right?
No, it's literally the obscura is like a place, sort of.
The obscura, when you find it, you'll know it.
Right. It's kind of entering into a dream world that exists within the world below.
Then we want to go where Bunga want to go.
Yeah.
You have to follow the chaos to go into the obscura.
I speak for graves. I do not feel them, but I am considering it.
All right. Well,
I love everyone's unwillingness to ever admit Bunga has a good idea.
It's half the fun.
It's I can just see now, like, 20 sessions.
It's not that he has good ideas. It's that his ideas end up being the right way forward, not that they're good.
Later that night, as Bunga is sleeping, the other three gather. All right, seriously, Bunga's like a good luck charm. He's leading us to all this stuff. Don't ever let him know that.
Just make him go first. Make sure he goes first. That's the important part.
Never die, sweet summer child.
All right.
It's been fun.
Any last bits of business, Crow? Did you have any final questions or anything along those lines?
Reading to myself, no, not right now.
All right, rock and roll. Anything else that anyone else has before we go into our goodbyes?
No, save it for the goodbyes. Great game.
All right, rock and roll. Thank you so much. In that case, let us do our outros properly. And my apologies for not doing the intros properly. I was a bit discombobulated and whatnot. So, starting things off with Cal, please tell us who you are, what you do, who you're playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you would care to promote.
All right. My name is Cal. I'm like Neo Cal on whatever things that you can follow me on. I don't know. I'm retreating from social media. Going back to the good old days of forums and video calls. It's like TikTok and like here with all y'all. Wednesday.
Well, it's appreciated.
And Discord and like Steam. Places I actually talk to my friends.
And do things with them.
Yeah. Whatever X is, whatever Instagram, Facebook, all of that. Get out of here. I'm done with it. I use he, him pronouns. Bunga mostly uses he, him pronouns and had a lot of fun. You can find me on the Dork Tales Twitch channel. We do Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages right now on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific. And what is it called? Oh, the Transylvania Chronicles. And the next session, we're going to be doing 100-year time jump.
So you're getting into like chapter 2, chapter 3 right now?
Chapter 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So from 1198 to 1300-ish.
Nice.
Or 1313 or something like that.
Well, it sounds
Christoph Romuald rests in peace under the rubble.
Sounds like a perfect time to hop on. And Dork Tales are a wonderful channel, good friends of ours. So definitely head over and give them a follow.
Yeah. I just revealed that my Malkavian is actually Salubri.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, good luck.
The reveal of the third eye was really fun because I got to
nice
pull back the hood.
I wish you best of luck in surviving the next.
Oh, I'm sure I'll be fine. Tremere propaganda. No one listens to them, right? What else? Podcast. Too Much Energon. If you like Transformers. Unfortunately, that's the podcast that never ends because Transformers 1 trailer just dropped.
Yeah.
That's something. No comment. And the Lasercomb podcast where I don't know, review 90s cartoons and stuff.
Nice. Rock and roll. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here. We appreciate your time and your presence and your friendship. You're awesome. Speaking of people who are awesome, you're welcome. Crow, how about you?
Hi.
Give us your pertinence.
Hi, I'm Crow. I play Sava. We are he, it. That is our pronouns that we have chosen and gone by. I've also stepped back from social media. What that means is trying to go back to old school and hit up folks in discords and forums and other stuff like that. Also, I'm
Area
still
pigeon.
on area pigeon. Yeah. Smoke fire, all that
Alright.
good stuff. We're still on Twitter, at blanks bslate TV. Currently not working on anything as of right now, putting all the projects on the side except for here and maybe one other thing. And that's pretty much about it.
Well, I certainly appreciate being the exception to your solitude, and
Yeah.
greatly appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being here. Always a pleasure. Always a blast. Can't wait till next session. And speaking of people who are always a pleasure and a blast, Haley, your pertinence, please.
Hi everyone. My name's Haley, also known as babe_blade666 on Instagram. Yeah, I hardly am on that account either. But yeah, I'm not really in anything right now. I'm pretty casual.
Well, we
So-
appreciate your presence.
Fun.
We appreciate
You're in
being
this.
your casual fun time.
I'm so used to you with the mushroom that now that your hair's down, I'm used to your hair being like the visual of like your character.
I'm still getting used to her face not peeling off.
That's true, yeah. Because you two met during a Dystopia Rising game where she was playing a
Yeah.
mutant. So like Haley had
the
like
jiggly bits.
yeah, had like a turkey gobble of rotten flesh at one point.
Is anybody going to eat that?
Good times. That is up on the Onyx Path YouTube if you want to go look at the Dystopia Rising Evolution actual play playlist. You can see the
was a
whole
good
game.
time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Speaking of people we had a lot of fun with playing Dystopia Rising, Kevin, your pertinence, please.
Hi, I'm Kevin R. Zarnicki. He, him, they in a group. If there's more of me, more with one of me. But aside from that, I mean, I gave up on social media a while back. I have a Facebook account where I masquerade as a Target cart, but that's really just for friends and networking, and that's where all the olds hang out and talk about their games. Like for real.
Ugh.
Hey man,
The olds hang out.
I'm 40 and I'm taking so many pills. All right. Aside from that,
fair.
yeah, like aside from that, you can find me at kevin.r.zarnicki@gmail.com if you are interested in taking lessons in a game design, writing, or voiceover, 3 different careers of which, yes, I will actually escort you not only through talents, but actually help you network in. None of that setting you loose stuff. I will hold your damn hand. About, I want to say 7 of my writing students right now are now TTRPG developers at several studios. I am a proud papa.
That's awesome.
And I'm so thrilled about it. I really am. And I'm charging way less than the competition. So there's that too, because times are hard. I don't need much, and you don't have much to give. Sounds like a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm sold actually.
Right? Aside from that, I'd like to make a little invitation on behalf of Catalyst Game Labs, the creators of Shadowrun, BattleTech, a slew of others coming, including the upcoming Voltron RPG, which I'm helping to work on.
Nice.
We are opening up for third-party stuff, kind of like Storyteller's Vault or Dungeon Masters Guild, if you're still D&Ding, or Pathfinder Society. All that stuff, we invite your creativity. We would love to see what you have to contribute to these universes. Will it be canon? I mean, you never know, but it's a heck of a way to build a resume, isn't it? But yeah, aside from that, it's just such a thrill being with all of you. I'd play any game with you guys. You're great.
It's thrilled to have you here. Thank you for your time and thank you for your presence. And it is a great joy of my life to be able to run this game. I'm having a great time figuring it out with you. Again, I cannot stress enough. The World Below is a new game from Onyx Path. It is not officially out yet. You can pre-order this book, this beautiful world, brainchild of Matthew Dawkins, filtered through a lot of setting building done by Ed Greenwood. It's really the Ed Greenwood. It's really a beautiful game, and I hope you've enjoyed us running you through it. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the link to the backer kit where you can pre-order the full book. You also, if you want to start your adventures in the World Below right away, you can go pick up the Ashcan edition, which is up on Drive Through RPG. I'm going to throw a link to that in the chat. So that
It's bigger than I expected. Like it's
Yeah,
Good.
it's a meaty book, and it has everything you need to run with the characters that are in it, and you could even build an ongoing campaign off of it.
Yeah.
You know,
I was really impressed with the adversaries, like the diversity of stories were popping up instantly. That's the best compliment you can give any game.
and it's a lot of stuff in a relatively tiny living space in the ash can. Speaking of ash cans, I also should probably mention to you that the world below is part of a greater universe called the Earthbane cycle, and while the world below is one portion of it, another portion of the Earthbane cycle called At the Gates, which is a JRPG inspired role playing game. Is also now available as an ash can over at Drive Through RPG, and that will be coming to your favorite crowdfunding platform soon. This too introduces the world. It does not go into like any direct connections between the two settings, but even if you look at the ash cans, you can kind of see how they're related to an extent. But whereas the world below is sort of this grim underworld, underground survival setting, at the gates is very like Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, that sort of high fantasy setting. So it's a very different feel, but uses the same system.
So
More
if we
Noble
ever
Bright.
actually do get to the surface,
You might
it'll
very
kind
well
of be like the beginning of Gurren Lagann.
right. You might very well walk out and be like, "What the hell is all this?" And then at the gates is just happening. You don't know. You don't know what's going on up there. Nobody's been up there in a long time.
Very Metro.
And so that is another thing that is out and about. And then, of course, I've got to make sure that you are aware before we run off that they came from Classified, came out this week in POD and PDF. This is our cinematic spy movie inspired role playing game. It's a lot of fun, and I know a personal favorite of designer Matthew Dawkins. And that is up on Drive Through at the link I just threw in the chat. And of course, speaking of favorites, my absolute favorite role playing game that has ever been published in the history of ever, they came from the Cyclops' Cave, has also come out recently in POD and PDF. And you can pick that up at the link I'm about to drop in the chat. And if you come back here in about 13 hours, I will be back here running it. Tomorrow, noon Eastern, I will be running my regular They Came from the Cyclops' Cave campaign entitled Warriors of Legend. It is heavily inspired by Xena and He-Man and She-Ra. Last session... sorry, I can't talk and type at the same time, so I'm going to type this
Anybody
name so nobody
watch
forgets it.
Sinbad? That came on like early morning.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
It was
like
all
back in
white
the-
cast, but like Sinbad is like
Yes.
the whitest dude ever.
Of
I
course.
thought you meant the Brad Pitt, Catherine Zeta-Jones one, where
Oh,
Michelle Pfeiffer was the best part of that movie. She
I-
was great.
I don't know if
Still.
I've mentioned it previously on this stream or not, but when last we met our heroes in Warriors of Legend, they had just gotten into a fight. They'd gone to a city to talk to the Council of Wizards because there is a force of emptiness that is draining the life and color out of the world. And so they're trying to get it's called the Empty, but yeah, kind of the same, similar vibes. And after their meeting, they were attacked by one of the servants of the Empty, a henchman by the name of Ham-Fisted, so named because he has a pig attached to the end of his right wrist. They survived his porcine punch. They were able to evade his slop attack, and when they knocked him onto the ground in defeat, he cried out for the pig to flee, and the pig ran off, dragging his body behind him. And that's where we left our adventurers. So that's where we will rejoin them tomorrow at noon Eastern. If you get a chance to pop in on it, we would love to see you there. Until then, wash your hands, wear a mask, get your shots, all that fun stuff, Don't get sick, don't get other people sick, and take care of yourselves and each other. See you again real soon. Bye.
Olivia says goodnight.
Good night, Olivia.